I get to talk to a lot of different groups, but nothing is closer to Robin in my heart than this, because this is our life. This is the biggest challenge that we ever went through. And long before getting to lead the Whitworth team to the NCAA Division III National Championship Tournament, or Eastern this year to the NCAA Division I National Championship, we had to lead a child. And the truth be told, she led us through a kindergarten through sixth grade experience where she was battling leukemia. My first head coaching job was in South Dakota. We had finished our second year of coaching there, and I remember I was at a luncheon, and my wife called and said, "You need to come right now." And we heard the words that you just heard, "Your child has cancer." And there is no more terrifying thing that you can hear. It's worse than hearing you have cancer when you hear your child has cancer. And your mind immediately races to the worst. You feel helpless as a parent. You feel like that's the one thing you're supposed to do is to care for your children, to take care of your children, to protect them from danger, and you're helpless. So we're in South Dakota, and they can't take care of children with cancer in South Dakota the way they can in Spokane, Washington. We were in the hospital. We were in rooms with people from Montana, Idaho. And so our child, we moved to Jamie, who you see on the picture above. We went out to Seattle. And the first month is a really key time for a child fighting leukemia. And every week, the news got worse and worse and worse, and she was classified as a high-risk patient going through the form of leukemia she was fighting. And I really got to tell you that the star of this support system was my wife, Robin. And through the first kindergarten through second grade of Jamie's experience, I felt helpless. And my wife did an amazing job of being really, really strong. And so our daughter was better. And we had about 8-9 months of just joy. And then we got the news that things weren't right, and that Jamie had relapsed, and that the cancer was back in her body. And at this point, I made a commitment to a dear friend to do a better job of leading my family through that. That first year after Jamie relapsed, we spent 193 nights in Sacred Heart Hospital living there. It became our office. That's where I watched videotape. It's where we slept. And all the time we're raising a wonderful, amazing younger brother who's trying to be whatever normal can be during that whole thing. But the story has a good ending. The chemotherapy finally ended in sixth grade. Her head stopped looking like mine and started looking like her mother's. In our family, we went from 2 incomes to 1 income. It's just really, really hard. It's really, really hard, and that's why we're all here tonight. And so we're here tonight to give a hand. And so I'm going to coach you a little bit here. So I want you all to raise your hand here for a second. Right or left hand, doesn't matter. All right? Now give somebody next to you a high five. Go ahead. All right, just high five. All right, very good. Your thumb. Look at your thumb. Looks awkward all there by itself. It needs the rest of the hand. The thumb represents teamwork. It takes a team to lead a child through fighting cancer. It takes the doctors, the nurses, the health professionals, but it also takes a community. It takes teamwork to lead a child through that fight. Secondly, take out your pinky. Look at your pinky there. Feels so insignificant. Has anyone ever broke their pinky? It hurts like crazy. The pinky then reminds you just how important it is. The pinky represents determination. Determination. You can't win basketball games. You can't beat cancer unless you have an amazing amount of determination. Our doctor told us the very first day, hey, Jim, you and Robin cannot have a bad day on the same day. You got to get your toughness, you got to get your energy, you got to get positive, and you can't have a bad day on the same day. And every day feels like a bad day when your child's fighting cancer, and that takes determination to push that aside. Secondly, or third now on our hand, I'd actually ask you to look at the person at your table that has given you the most challenge in life. Go ahead and look at them right now. Now, raise your middle finger. Go ahead, just raise that middle finger right now. That middle finger, that represents attitude. But for children to fight cancer, it takes an attitude. It takes a toughness, it takes spirit, it takes an attitude. They're in the midst of a fight. And that family also is in the midst of a fight. Next, I want you to try to take your ring finger and hold it up by itself without touching any other fingers. Go ahead, try that. It's hard to do, isn't it? It's a lot harder to do because all the muscles in the hand are kind of working together with that finger. That represents our fourth thing. That represents unity. It takes unity, and it takes the unity of a community to help children fight cancer. And then finally, that last finger of the five I asked you to help children fight cancer, they can't do it alone. It takes you. It takes you, and it takes you, and it takes you, and it takes you. And we're here tonight to represent whatever else is happening in Spokane. Nothing better is happening in Spokane than this room tonight. This is Spokane at its best. This is our community at its best. So tonight, your generosity, it makes a big difference. And I'd ask everybody here to give a little more than they thought they were going to give when they drove here this evening. Because the recipients of your generosity are children who can't fight cancer alone. It takes all of us together. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here.